What's up, Dr. Coogan? Today I'm going over the seven cap elements and how I use them in my lessons. I don't really know how to put them in visually, but I got them written down. My best way I got at it. I don't know. For subject matter knowledge, I use my vocab that I got from the book or looked up online, and I use that for my cues and explaining how to do the lesson, and that just proves that I know the subject because I have all the vocab down, I have all my cues down, I'm knowing the directions. I I just know how to play the game, and the cues are there. Um For well-structured lesson plans and units, I felt like my lesson plans were pretty clear. When I was at the intermediate school, the kids understood and gave me their thumbs up when I explained the lesson. When I was teaching every time at Woodward in the field house, all the students would give me thumbs up, and if they had any questions, they would ask. Um, all the games would also run fairly smoothly. Besides that cricket one, it was kind of slow because the batting I should have split it up somehow differently. But other than that, the games ran pretty smooth. Um, the adjustments to practice, I would know when to make it easier or harder. For instance, at the intermediate school, um, I got told by Dr. Bowling to put the smaller hoop at the back, and I put it at the front at the beginning, where that's one point where I got helped to adjust my practice. But then when I was teaching at Woodward, every time, like when we were teaching badminton, I was telling, I think it was Kayla or Erin to hit. I think they were partners, and I was teaching them one way to hit and to follow through because they were just kind of just tapping at it like that. Those are the adjustments and really explaining, and that's how another way I know my subject matter knowledge is explaining how to come and follow through and how it'll help you with that birdie when you hit it. And then the safe learning environment. Oh, I think I skipped one. Meeting diverse needs. I was making sure everyone was included. It doesn't matter who you are, what your skill is. You're gonna be included no matter what. And uh, I just made sure everyone was included. And for a safe learning environment, I would just go over every time where you should be, where you shouldn't be, how to stay safe. Like at the intermediate school, I was telling the kids how to throw the frisbee and not throw it hard. Because if they threw it too hard, they could hurt someone. Or if they threw the frisbee into another lane, not to chase it because they could get hit by another frisbee coming. Or when we were at Woodward, I'd be telling our students not to be swinging the rackets as hard as they can or the cricket bats as hard as they can when they're just standing in line because they could hit someone. So again, safety is a big thing. Also, if a birdie went into another lane or another court, I would tell them not to just rush in, wait for that point to be done, and then they can go get their birdie so they don't get hit. Um, having high expectations for my students. If I don't have high expectations, I can't really expect them to execute. If it's just a low expectation, they're easily gonna get it. It's gonna, nothing's gonna be smooth. It's gonna be rocky. I don't really know. They need that higher expectation to achieve it and have a challenge to it. And I believe that my tasks are all challenging enough for the students to come through and I forget what I was saying. Well, I wrote down that if I had higher standards, that they would produce higher results too, and it would honestly be more fun being more challenged than not being challenged at all. Because like when we were at the intermediate school and the kids were doing Kayla's lesson, it was pretty challenging for them and entertaining. But then they switched to, I think it was Chase's lesson, where like the bucket was a little bit closer and it was easier, and they were pretty bored for it. And I don't know, having that high expectation, that harder challenge is going to be a lot more fun for the kids than just completing it and going on to the next. And then the reflective practice, reflective practice, all the practice that we did went back into the main ideas or the big idea and focused on the lesson plan. And then also the practice was like achieving the end goal at whatever we were finishing. So like at the intermediate school, I was doing the tapping, and Kayla and her group was doing accurate throwing, and then the group before that did the actual just throw. All three of those lessons lead up to Colin, Shane, and Braden when they really teach Can Jam and put it all together. So all the practice that we did was reflecting on what the actual game that they're going to complete at the end is. Also, while we were doing cricket and badminton, the same thing happened. We would do like a downward extension of a game to make it a little bit easier and understand the game before jumping right into it and confusing the students. Those are the seven cap elements.